This is Bruce Buffer, and this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for the MMA-Holes!
No way.
From the You're All Dead Meat Studios of Arizona. Exclusive interview with Hella Mark Harley, Part 2. Let's talk about some baddies with the MMA-Holes.
Wonderful.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's Wednesday night. Hopefully everyone is wonderful in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button. Vera versus Sandhagen is going down Saturday night. We'll be reacting to it live. On the second half of the show, we'll be talking about a little bit of UFC fights. We're giving away God of War, so go to the UFC 286 stream that we reacted to. Like, subscribe, share it, and put your favorite fighter in the comments section of that stream. UFC 286, you have a chance. You still have a chance to win this God of War. We'll be giving it away tonight at the end of the stream, so that is in full effect, okay?
Wonderful.
Also, want to give a shout out to CBDX.com, Sheath Underwear, MyBookie.ag, and HeadRush. The promo code is MMAHOLES for 20% off. On MyBookie.ag, you'll get a 100% match on your first deposit. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's a special night. I know we talk MMA. I know things go crazy on this show, and we like to talk UFC, right? That's what we do on this show. But I have interviewed Bruce Buffer, John Jones, Mike Goldberg, all the big names in the UFC. And this guest that's on our show tonight for his second appearance, I got the most requests to have back on. All those other names that I threw at you. Most requests for this man. So how do I not have him back on? He's all over the internet right now. It's going crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to give a big round of applause and a warm welcome for Hella Mark Harley. Let's go, champs. How you doing, Mark?
That was a great intro. I mean, people requesting me. I'm not going to let it go to my head. I'm sure I know why they want to have me back, but I'll take it. I'll take all the attention, you know.
Dude, I can't get, like, it's just crazy. The last time you came on, people's heads exploded. They loved you. It went nuts. Now, tonight is... I'm sorry?
I enjoy talking to you.
Oh, very good. That's good stuff over here. All right, so tonight is a little bit different. Now, yeah. The last time you came on, you were the talk of the town. You were the man on top of the world with the Fighter and Kid subreddit. Yeah. And now you're public enemy number one. How does this happen within a month? What's going on here?
How the turntables have turned. So, you know, the long and short of it is, you know, I had a very public split with my wife, and she decided to go fully nuclear on me and preemptively released some videos on me that are obviously very unflattering. And I have, some people know the explanation or my side of events for the particular videos that she's released or the story. These are all things that we had mutually agreed to never release. You know, the things that I've released and will be releasing are things that we kind of had a pact. It's like, hey, we don't want to do this to each other. She decided to go nuclear, and I've just been kind of formulating my response to this because obviously the standard advice in this case or not standard, but a lot of people say, hey, just lay low for a while. And it's like, well, I'm not going to let somebody try to frame me as a wife beater when I've never hit a woman in my life and just, take it laying down. So I've been compiling my version of events. I had a pretty dark weekend where I felt like I was just being roundly attacked and, kind of felt like my life was over for a minute because, we are in a society now where it's kind of it's very easy, to take things out of context. And specifically the video that's going viral where I'm attacking her car, the narrative that she's put out there is like she was escaping abuse or something like that. Like she's like trying to run away from me. And it was like, no, I was trying to get my keys from you after you locked me out of the apartment with my car keys and apartment keys. And I made an unfortunate choice to attack the car to try to get them from you rather than simply calling the landlord. That was a mistake, but I immediately paid for the damages in the car. But the way it's been framed is obviously extremely misleading. I know how it looks. Of course it's going to go viral. This giant man is shaking a car, but in reality, that was a reaction to something that she'd done many times, try to take my keys and use it as a form of punishment or control after an extended argument. So it's hard to figure out exactly what to say in response to some of these things. I am working on that. Some people already know these answers, but unfortunately, I'm in the position now where I have to, for example, post videos of her being arrested for domestic violence, and show some evidence of her, which hitting me, kicking me, doing some really physical things against me unprovoked, and I don't want to be in that position. Some people will understand. Some people will never get back on board with me, and I totally understand that. But again, these are private things from a toxic relationship and incredibly toxic moments that happen to go public, and I'm playing defense at the moment, and I get it, and I'm okay with my position now. I just hope that I can win some people back over.
It's pretty mind-blowing to me because the last time we had you on and you were talking about the whole Schaub situation, your wife was by your side, like defending you, and you guys were a little bit of a team, in the same direction over here. And then boom, like everything is gone now. Like it's pretty wild. So I'm assuming this has been going on for a while, correct?
Yes. I mean, the video, for example, she posted, from what I understand, there's three videos, one of which where I'm throwing keys. I think that was from 2 years ago. The car video is from 2.5 years ago. Just judging by my hair, I'm like, how dyed is my hair? Okay, that was 2020, 2 or 3 years ago. One video she posted, she says I slapped her, but in reality, it's actually in this room. I was sitting at my computer just like this, working on a screenplay for hours, and she kept bugging me, and it escalated into this big argument. And she's getting up in my face, and I flicked her in the head, and she's characterized that as like a hit or something, like because she says in the video, "Did you just hit me?" And it's like in the dark, so you can't really see, but I went like this to her head, which again is unfortunate, and I never want to do that to a woman or anybody. But that's 8 years ago during a very heated argument, and you got a video queued up there right now. But yes, it must be
it must be a coincidence. Your nipple just showed up underneath over here. I think this is the video that you're talking about. Okay,
this is a different one, but because I put this one out. This is in the middle of like a 7-minute video where she's trying to prevent me from leaving after she was being really verbally vicious with me and saying things that you can hear in the video. She goes, "I was just lying," and I'm like, "Dude, you can't be verbally abusive to me like that." And I'm just trying to pack up and go, and she's physically preventing me from that. And you can kind of see that she in the video, like, I'm leaning over to pack, and she's kind of like on top of my back, and I just like reach back like that, and she does this like, "Oh,"
Yeah. Okay, let's watch it together. What do you say?
Well, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Memory lane. Here we go. Here's Mark. Beautiful pecs.
Please forgive me. I will never
forgive you. Good shape. Forgive you for what? Telling the truth?
No, please, Mark. Mark, please don't take.
No, forgive.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but
I'm glad I got that moment.
First off, all right, I'm gonna run it back real quick over here. So you're standing there.
You want it because what you can hear her say after that is, "Oh my God, you just hit me in the chin, but don't worry, I'm not going to call the cops if you just stay." So she's actually threatening to call the police And she's like, I could call the cops right now and tell them you hit me, but I won't if you do this. So
now why were you filming this? So things were happening already, right? Things were getting a little crazy.
This is from 2018. And so the big pattern that I hope to establish, because I have, this is one of like a dozen videos that I have like this minimum. There's so many to go through. It's like the biggest daunting task is like, I have to just go through all the recordings and edit and find the right audio on the right days where I was recording her. But what would happen is she has extreme fear of abandonment issues. So anytime I would say, hey, I'm leaving, like this is too much for me, that would escalate it for her and often lead to physical violence on her part. So she's making it seem like the car video is funny because she's like, he was preventing me from leaving. I've never prevented her from leaving in her entire life. But if you're going to take my keys to my car or my apartment, then yeah, like it's going to provoke me. And if you've done it before. In this instance, I'm literally trying to pack a suitcase to leave in my car, and she's physically obstructing me. She jumps, the longer video, you see her like jump on me like a koala. She'll jump on my legs, she'll do all these things. And again, I remember the first time I heard the Johnny Depp Amber Heard like tapes of them arguing, and she kept referring back to every time we argue, you split, you can't take off. Like she was criticizing him for leaving and separating during an argument. And instantly I was like, oh my God, that's the same exact thing that I hear all the time, which is like, you can't leave during an argument. And my logic is always, let's take a break. I'm going to go over to my corner. Johnny Depp in his recording was talking about going to a hotel room, and that really upset her and pissed her off. And I just related to that and found that was like a very predictable pattern. And so like people have criticized me for filming this, but I go, I know when I'm leaving, that's when the danger happens. That's when the violence happens. And that's what she's going to try to trap me into, like clinging on me. And then if I fling her off me, she's going to say, my husband just threw me across the room. She's done that multiple times. So this is just one that I happened to catch on video that was funny because you can kind of see me just reaching back, and she does this hugely dramatic thing and screams and falls on the floor. And, my face is just like, I know what I just felt. And that was like going like this,
I tell you, you mentioned Johnny Depp, and that's exactly what I thought. And I saw someone in the chat put it in there as well. This has been going on forever. Why stay together with someone like this then?
Good question. Well, like first, because people always go like, what's your psychological issues? Of course, this represents on my part issues with boundaries and what I'll accept, from a partner, and perhaps codependency issues. A little more sympathetically, I would say I felt a lot of guilt about leaving her because ultimately she was in the process of getting a green card, and I thought that was going to be quicker. Like in my head, I'm like, okay, well, I'm off the hook in 2 years. Then it becomes 3 years. Then it becomes 4 years. Then it becomes 5 years. So I'm in the midst of this going like, I can't, like, I felt trapped by being like, I don't want to fuck this person over. I made a commitment to them to see them through the green card process. Now, little did I know, it actually doesn't affect it that much. You can get divorced and it's not the biggest thing. There's ways out of it. But in her mind, every time I left, an added layer was like, oh my God, I'm going to be kicked out of the country. So there was this panic. There was this extreme anxiety on top of somebody who already has abandonment issues. If I did, I'd left a number of times. I'd moved out several times. By that point, I'd probably moved out like 3 times, taken all my stuff. And I was ultimately guilted to come back into it. And I'm not saying that's like, oh, somebody forced me. That was a weakness on my part. That was a weakness to succumb to somebody guilting me. But if you can imagine, this person uses some pretty extreme tactics, including threats or implications of suicide, bombarding of text messages, emails, phone calls, and you can say, why don't you just block her? This person will use new phone numbers. You can buy new phone numbers. You can text me. So I'm receiving thousands of phone calls, hundreds of voicemails, thousands of text messages, crying, sobbing. Her mom's reaching out. Her friends are reaching out. Like, I'm being overwhelmed. And also, when you leave, I'm going back to my mom's house or something that's kind of depressing. It's like I'm leaving, and then it's like you're all alone. It's not like you're going like, hey, I'm going to go vacation with my boys, and they're all going to remind me that I have other options, and like we're all having fun. I would just go to a place that's kind of like I'm alone, stewing in my own sadness. And the high of leaving and getting out, that adrenaline rush, it would kind of sink in, and I'm like, I feel sad. I kind of feel lonely. And I feel bad ultimately. Like I feel like I'm letting somebody down, because that's something that I really, really, really try not to do. Is if I've made a commitment to you to follow through on something that affects your life, I can't live with myself to not follow through with that. And I'm susceptible to someone saying that I'm selfish. And ultimately, I guess that's what happened, a lot of the times.
Okay.
And, she's good at playing the victim, right? Here's one. Research, man. You found all these clips.
Here's another one of you, no mustache. This is part 1, it looks like, of part 2. Maybe a little longer back, but let me just play this really quick. Here we go.
Because you did, right?
Yeah.
You did, right? You did.
Stop!
Now, I don't mean to laugh, but
Hey, it is funny, because I'm also like, it's just an awkward thing. Like, people are like, oh, you're such a pussy. It's like, have somebody grab your hair from behind and you don't even know where it's coming from. Like, it's a fucking awkward thing. And so what was happening there, that was in 2019. And again, guess what was happening? She told me to get out. And then when I start packing my suitcase, she comes and physically attacks me. So why am I setting up the phone? Because I knew she was going to fucking attack me. It's for my own safety. Maybe not every single time, but something would happen every time that she told me to leave. We'd have an argument and she'd say, get the fuck out. I'm like, you don't mean that? No, get the fuck out, move out. I don't want to fucking see you. And it's like, yeah, first of all, I just paid rent 2 days ago, but okay. I'm packing a suitcase. And what she did was go, what's that wristband on the suitcase? What's that blue wristband? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I put it there to make my black suitcase stand out. She's like, is it from some bitch you fucked? And I go, yeah, it's from some bitch I fucked. And then she grabs my hair and fucking, yanks it back. So that was over a wristband, thinking that I had some woman's wristband, like a woman's I'm going to fuck a girl. She's going to leave a wristband, on the floor. I'm going to pick it up and put it on my suitcase. Like, what, walk me through that logic. But anyway, again, another example of, because women online are like, all these feminists are messaging me because people are reposting the story. Like Lala Kent just reposted on a story, and it's like, come on, dude, don't you got 2 million followers and fucking you're essentially inviting people to harass me. And I'll send clips like this. Like a feminist will message me like, oh yeah, so you don't like abusers, huh? I'm a piece of shit, huh? Like I'm a scum of the earth, man. Can't wait to see what you think about Luana. And I'll show him that, and she'll be like, well, that just proves that you're a narcissist who caused reactive abuse. Like, that's the big buzzword, is reactive abuse. So what was she reacting to in that moment?
All right. Well, we got her, her doing some stuff here. Now we fast forward to something, it looks like a little bit more recent. And this is what people were talking about before. Now, this is what people are going crazy. Now,
you play this.
Yeah. I gotta play this.
I thought you were on my side.
I gotta play this. Now, I gotta admit, this looks like a scene from like a horror movie. This looks like I'm looking in the back. I see a big scary man with muscles. She has all I could think of, though, and I was telling my wife this. She's propping the camera up too, right? So she's getting ready. Like, I would be like, let me get the fuck out of here. Like, why am I putting this up here? Why am I filming this? All this stuff seems so fucking weird. Anyway, we'll get your side in a second, but let me play this video for those that haven't seen it. This is Mark's best performance ever. He's behind the car right now. He's trying to lift the car. Here it is.
He's in front of my car. He's touching my car now. He's picking up my car.
What's this horror movie called? Roid Rage?
As you can see, he's picking up my car. He doesn't let me go. He hit it.
And I don't like when I'm kicking it, she's actually backing up. You can't really tell because you can't see the perspective or things behind it moving. But she's at that moment when I go back like that, she's trying to like run me over basically.
He just did this.
Okay, so let's talk about this here, Mark. Yeah. Now, first of all, you almost lifted the car. Were you holding the car in place? What was happening here?
I am so strong, it's crazy. No, I was just like bouncing up and down on the suspension.
Okay. Oh, so you hop in the car a little bit. Okay. Now you were infuriated. Now, why were you so mad here?
So the reason that I was so upset in that moment is because the first step you need to understand is Luana has a history of during fights taking my keys, like if I'm trying to leave somewhere, or she'll call the cops, or she'll do something, and then she takes my car keys and takes my house keys. Often those are two things on the same, key holder, and she'll grab it and run it or hide it somewhere. And it's a power game that, like, if somebody does that once, it's confusing. It's like, wait, where are my keys? But it's like, if somebody does that once, twice, 3 times, 10 times, it's like this immediate trigger where I knew she was going to do it. She tricked me into going outside. Like, she might have like thrown one of my possessions outside. I go outside and get it, then she runs back, takes my keys. Like it was just like, it was this moment where I'm like, oh, that fucking, like I was so infuriated because she tricked me, locked me outside. I'm outside in board shorts and a tank top, and she's trying to leave for the weekend, by the way. Like, this was before some like trip that she had planned. She gets my car keys and apartment keys, locks the door behind me, and then tries to drive off. Now, of course, the way I dealt with that situation, as I said, wasn't ideal. The most rational thing to do would have been to call my landlord, who I really hate talking to because he's this grumpy old man. So like in my head, I'm like, I don't want to go to Ken, and I don't want to have to knock down the door and spend the weekend with this like flapping door in the wind. So in my mind, I was just trying to be like, it was just a caveman response to being like, you took my stuff, give it back. And it was incredibly infuriating. Like, I felt like she did something to me and I was retaliating. Mm-hmm. And I immediately apologized afterwards. I calmed down. We worked it out. I paid for the side mirror. So I paid for every dollar of the repair. And the idea that, first of all, that she was escaping some sort of abuse, there wasn't like, why hasn't she said what was going on before that? Why hasn't she given any details of what was going on before that moment? Mm. Because she knows what happens. She stole my keys and ran out the door and then tried to escape for a 3-day weekend trip. Now, if there was some sort of abuse going on, or like I'm beating her up, or like, do you think she would have said that? She's let people imply that and assume that she was some sort of like, that this was her like escaping the relationship or something like that. And I'm like some monster, like, no, get back here. You have to stay in the house and make me a sandwich. That couldn't have been further from the truth. In fact, I loved it when she'd go away for the weekend because I'd finally get a few days of not having to argue or be nagged all day. So like, that just doesn't bear out in reality. You're not going to find any woman on earth would even describe me as controlling, let alone abusive. So the idea that I would go after a woman to control them or keep them in the house is frankly absurd. And this is just, to me, an unfortunate moment that, again, we see how dramatic she is. She's making this panic, like, oh my God, he's lifting the car. And then I only start kicking it when she tries to drive over me. She starts backing up into me with my stuff. And again, my reaction is out of anger, but she's leaving out very important context in order to make the narrative of the story the opposite of what it actually was.
So where are you guys now? Like, I'm assuming you guys are split, right? You're
split. Yeah, we're no longer living in the same place. This all happened to line up with me going up north to visit my family anyway. So I just, I extended the trip as I figure out how I'm going to get my stuff out of my house, because she immediately changes the locks and files a restraining order. Like, even though, I'll show you some pictures if you want, but like, look, she punched me in the fucking face 2 weeks ago and split my lip open. She punched me in the dark.
So why did you release the video today of her getting arrested? And when was that?
That was not too far away from that video, because that video is like 2 years ago. This video is in 2020. And why did I release it? Because I felt like I needed something. I didn't want to wait. Like, I'm compiling all this stuff and trying to do my own PR, because I don't think that anybody else is like going to be able to make a statement better than I can. And I don't, as you can tell, like, I didn't ask for any of these questions up front. I knew that there was going to be some difficult questions to answer, but I'm being fully transparent about this. And I know the best approach for me is just to put out what I have, even though I'm reluctant to do so, because it's going to make Luana look very, very, very insane. You're going to see many examples of preemptive abuse. You're going to hear many examples of vicious verbal attacks over the course of years. You're going to hear me alone in a room with a ranting woman banging on the door to the point that it breaks wood and she has to spackle it the next day to cover it up. I mean, this is a very distinct pattern with Luana. She harasses the fuck out of me. And this just happens to be the one time that I caught her abuse on video when the cops were already coming.
Okay.
She lied to the police many times and actually made me delete the videos that I showed to the police because she was so scared of this getting out. She was so scared of it affecting her citizenship. She paid a lawyer $5,000 to like help get the case expunged. I'm not sure if there's any record of it anymore, but she was booked. Now, of course, I didn't press any charges because I didn't want her to have to experience any of that. I'm not vindictive, and I didn't want, and I was driving around, by the way, looking at like I'm calling the fucking prison. I don't know where they took her to. So like I'm spending all night freaking the fuck out trying to get her out of jail. I didn't want her to go to jail. I'm not saying anything on camera because I'm like, I can't do anything. I'm not going to go like assault a police officer. You're already freaking the fuck out, and they don't like that. You can't just freak out in front of a police officer and expect them to treat you better. And so I thought she was already adding so much tension to the situation that I have to just sit back and film. And maybe if she is abused by the police, maybe I can use that later. But, you know, to me, the best thing was to film her in that moment. And luckily I caught this person, I think, in the midst of, you know, she was legitimately panicked. But as many people point out, where are the tears? She's crying. She's going over the top. It's very histrionic and also indicative of entitlement, because she's going, why isn't he arrested? Why isn't he arrested? And it's like, well, that's because Mark was trying to escape. You punched him in the face, kicked his arm to get the phone out of his hand, then played the victim like, oh my God, I just have surgery. I'm so weak. It's like, well, then like, why are you obstructing my path out of this fucking apartment after telling me to leave? Once again, after telling me to leave. And I just wanted something without me saying anything, without me narrating, because as soon as I get on camera, it's almost like, you know, people are ready to call bullshit on me explaining anything. That video speaks for itself. I've been arrested before for fighting, and she called the cops on me one time that led to an arrest, even though the only mark that was on either of us was a cut on me from her headbutting me. But she tells this sob story to the police, and all of a sudden I'm getting arrested. I'm calm. I go in there, I get booked. Again, no charges for me either, because there's no evidence of anything. There's no case. And I've been arrested before for fighting, you know, things like that. No matter how stressed out you are, you simply can't act like that around the police. Like I would expect to get murdered if I acted like that, you know, and obviously this woman is so far removed from any sort of rational thinking. And it's also just indicative of how she reacts to stressful situations in general. So it was just my way of going, here's a little slice into my life and who this person is claiming to be. When was the last time a woman got arrested for domestic violence lined up against me? She's half my size. Why do you think they arrested her? She came in, the cops came and said, what happened? She immediately says, he pushed me, and starts pointing fingers at me. I wasn't going to even show them the video. But I heard her start telling this false story to the cops, and I said, we're not doing that. Here you go. Here's a video of her hitting me in the face. Here's a video of her kicking me. And unfortunately, I didn't realize once you do that to the cops, they have to arrest her. I didn't want that to happen, but I felt like if I don't do this, I'm going to be the one in cuffs. And I, you know, just don't want to. I've been kicked out of she's called the cops before after like hitting, like throwing shoes at me and doing crazy, like, and then they come and it's like, they always make the man leave, even if they don't arrest you. They're like, you have to, I'm like, oh, I have to get a hotel room now or like sleep in my car on the street. So I just been sick of that kind of treatment, you know?
I hear you. Okay. Makes sense over here. Listen, I get it. Like, I get it. There are a lot of times where, you know, usually the guy's always the victim in situations because we're big, scary, and women are fragile. And there's a lot of women victims out there too, but sometimes they take advantage of men. It is a little strange, though. This scenario is very odd because of all the recordings from many years back. So it makes you scratch your head. Why the hell would you guys stay together for so long in such a toxic relationship? I still can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah, well, you know, we talked about divorce all the time, and I've actually put some text messages up. I think they got removed on the subreddit, but like, you know, it's been very toxic and unfortunate. I think that's a good question, but it's never as simple as that. And again, like this cycle is kind of like things will happen, and then you go back to, you know, loving, and we're going to fix it, and we're going to go to therapy, and things can be better. And like, I'm not taking credit away from her as a person and the things she does well. She is very talented. She's a senior graphic designer. She's very smart. She's, you know, great at organization. She's really tenacious. She has, you know, many, many positive qualities. She's very creative. You know, I think when she's in a good mood, she can be a very fun person to be around. So like, it's not as if it was all negative all the time. But you know, you have a sexual dynamic that you don't want to let go of. You maybe don't want to let go of the idea of having kids with this person. I know she really wanted to have kids with me. And, you know, I'd considered it at some point, but then incidents like this would happen. I'd go like, I don't know if I want this person to be the mother of my child, because look at how they respond in stressful situations. And, you know I can work on being a more calm person, but sometimes I feel like there just wasn't even that ability to acknowledge, like I was constantly being accused of having an anger problem. And I'm like, but you must see that you have an anger problem. And it was like, no, only you do. So I'm like, I don't know if I can, like, you know what I mean? The first step is admitting you have a problem. I know I have plenty of things to work on that I could benefit from therapy, but like that relationship needed more than couples therapy. That needed individual therapy for both parties. But I was able to admit that, and that seemed to be a lot harder for her. And to come back to your question, why do you stay in these things? I mean, one of the big parts is like, look what happened when I tried to leave. I probably tried to leave a dozen times, and the tactics that she would use would just escalate the closer it, despite, I mean, she'd say, I want to divorce you 1 second, and then, you know, be clinging on to my leg the next if I actually tried to leave or file or whatever. So she liked to play that kind of game of chicken where it's like, I want you out of my life, I want to divorce you. And then if I actually took a step towards it, she'd back up and escalate these tactics. And we saw what her nuclear option was. If you leave me, right? Because a week before that, I was the guy that she wanted to have children with. But now I'm a serial domestic abuser, you know, who's a complete piece of shit and controlled everything she does, and, you know, ruined her psychological health permanently, you know. But when's the last video you had of me, right?
Well, listen, I have great news for you. I put a poll up, and it says Team Mark or Team Luana. And right now, currently, got over 100 votes so far. 64% is Team Mark. So it looks like
you.
Actually, definitely the Fire to the Kid Reddit's not in my chat right now, because they
I know.
We'll keep that up.
I think, and anybody with an open mind, like, you've seen nothing yet. You've seen the tip of the iceberg as far as my response to this. You know, I had a really dark weekend, and, you know, I could barely bring myself to eat, and, woe is me, I know. But, like, it's just been even hard to think about how to address it and even get out of bed when you feel like the whole world is attacking you. And it's kind of a unique feeling, because like you feel like you're grieving and you've lost something and you've fucked up and you're going through like a breakup, but then also people are like attacking you online, like in the hordes, and like threatening your, you know, your livelihood as a, you know, somebody in a creative field or an influencer, quote unquote, who depends on like, you know, representing companies. And then it's like, oh, maybe this is the end of all of that. So it's a lot of dark stuff to process. And I just posted that video today because I compiled it. I'm like, I'm going to give people something. Like, just hang on a second. This is a little bit of a teaser to like my side of things. And again, I hate the fact that I have to put that out there, but I think a lot of people would agree with me. I'm just left with no choice because I have to defend myself. I can't, you know, let this idea exist that I've ever hit or beat a single woman. And if there's any woman out there who I've ever been with, who's ever met me, who's ever experienced me, who's ever been hit or abused or even controlled by me, please come forward and verify anything that Luana says, and I'll give you $1,000 and delete my IG.
Okay, and anyone in the chat right now, we're live with Hella Mark Harley, talking about some sensitive material here. There's you know, there's trouble in paradise, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it. If you're, I see people like, what video? Just run the stream back, and we showed some videos, and you can judge for yourself in the comments. So now, what would you say to the people out there? And I kind of get what they're saying. Like, you went with the whole Schaub thing, like you were kind of the victim in that, and you kind of, you know, let everything out on Schaub. And now all of a sudden this happens with the wife. And I think that's why people are turning on you. They're like, hey, what's up with this guy?
Yeah. No, I totally get that. So that narrative, to steelman that, is like, why is Mark always the victim in this situation? Is this a track record? If you've been paying attention to me for, like, you know, since what, February to March, it's like, here are these two high profile things where, you know, Mark seemingly is the victim of people with personality disorders. Because I will toss out words like, I believe that Luana has borderline personality disorder. And I've been telling her that since 2016. I remember reading my first book about it while researching something for a screenplay I wanted to write. And I was like, oh my God, this fits here. I know people will mock my armchair psychology, but look up the symptoms of borderline personality disorder and cross-reference them with the behavior that you see, and look in the comments section of my YouTube video. And I think there's, you know, a growing consensus about this stuff. Now, there are many reasons on a personal level that I might be attracted to, or as I said, like if I have boundary issues, then I tend to end up tolerating this behavior rather than walking away from it. I understand that and take personal responsibility for it, and that's something that I'm going to have to work on in the future. However, I would say as a broader pattern, if you've known me for my whole life, these are just two things that happen to buckle up together, and one of them kind of caused the other. I've been planning on leaving Luana, and I figured this was kind of imminent for a while. It's just the Schaub situation kind of created a pressure cooker in a lot of ways that it put a lot of stress on our relationship during the past year. And I'm not saying it would have eased anything or fixed it, but like a lot of, like, it probably wouldn't have happened right now. You know, like the last year with Schaub probably took a year off our relationship, just because in the moments where everything's fine, it's like, I'm coasting. I don't want to have this disruption of this crazy breakup right now. So that's, to answer your question from before, that's part of why I would stay in a relationship, is because it's easier to coast when things are at least copacetic, and not tumultuous. And you're kind of like, oh, at least I can breathe for a moment, kind of recover from the last thing that they were tumultuous. And I can kind of, maybe if I want to plan, I can sit back and relax and get my head straight, you know. But the Schaub thing created a lot of tension. She hated when I'd be gone. Mm-hmm. You know, and to her credit, I think any woman would have a similar reaction to that, because you're on the road a lot. He wasn't paying me for it. I thought it was going to lead to something like a promotion or a pay increase, and it kind of led to a demotion and a pay decrease, and then ultimately a firing, when I felt like, hey man, I'm putting my best effort in, and proving my value, but the two things, in other words, are intertwined with me, because, you know, she got to hear a lot about Schaub's cheating, and like that started to piss her off. Like, even the fact that, like, she was finding out that, like, I knew about Schaub's infidelity, and she'd get mad at me for not telling her, so like I have to cover. And then it's like, you know, ultimately, yes, I was seeing this other person in preparation to get out of that relationship, but I wanted to do more artfully and diplomatically and not have that be in the public eye. And, you know, I did ultimately mislead her. I just wanted to do it in a different way, because I felt like there was no other option. There was no option to like come clean and be like, this is what I'm doing, because that was going to lead to, if I'm still living there, this atom bomb of destruction, you know. And my other attempts to get out of the situation were unsuccessful. So again, I personally may be delusional, but I kind of look at it as two interrelated things that are more of a coincidence than, like, I don't see myself as a victim of anything. I've told nothing but the truth about Schaub. Like, if there's a single lie, like, I mean, I debunked one of the lies that he was telling on air, and everything else he said is a lie. And I've since heard, you know, like, he's been telling his side chicks, two of them actually, told me he had to fire me because of drug addiction and domestic violence. Meanwhile, I told Schaub everything about what had happened. Like, I told him when I got arrested in 2021. That was before he hired me, and nothing had happened since. Any incident that Luana has, this is all prior to that. She never showed Brendan any of that. He was aware of me. Like, I'd tell him, I'm like, dude, yeah, fucking Luana hit me last night. Like, Luana got into it. She fucking, you know, smashed my fucking expensive red light therapy machine. And like, so he was aware that she was committing domestic violence against me. He was aware that I had been arrested in 2021. I came right out and told him, and that was a point of contention for even putting my show on the Thick Boy Network. That was at that point that Luana offered, she's been acting like she was coerced to do it, but she offered to make a video saying, yes, Mark's arrest was based on an argument where somebody else called the cops and we're in a toxic relationship and sometimes shit happens, but I'm not accusing him of anything and I don't want that to come out. And Schaub was like, okay, cool. Like, Luana's totally fine with it. Luana doesn't think you're a domestic abuser. But then when I get fired, in order to discredit me to these side chicks, he's going, I had to fire Mark because he beats his wife and he's a drug addict. What drug am I addicted to? When did I beat my wife? Like, because he wasn't even, it's not like she was sending him secretly like videos trying to frame me. So again, I got no sympathy for the guy. And he's been, again, lying behind my back. He lies to the world. We know he's a pathological liar. I think I've been doing a decent job so far debunking the notion that Luana is some sort of innocent victim of my abuse and control. I take responsibility for what I did, but I'm okay being transparent because I know who I am. I know I'm not a victim, but my tactic in this situation, in both these situations, is to come out and be transparent. I'm not hiding from anything. I'm not going to dodge any questions. This is something that Luana isn't going to do. It's not something Brendan's going to do. And it's unfortunate, but, the truth has set me free in both these situations, and I'm ready to deal with the repercussions. If telling the truth has any repercussions for me, and people want to call me a drama queen or a snitch or a victim, I don't see it that way. I can see why that's an easy narrative for people, but I simply disagree.
Okay. So you see, you said a lot there, and I'm going to try to pull out some fun stuff.
You're such a patient listener that I think I lose track of how much I'm fucking talking.
Well, you're the type of guest that's perfect. And people are like, blah, I'm falling asleep, this and that in the chat. No, they're not. You are full of information here, and I am letting you go, and that's what a host should do. If the guest is willing to talk, why cut them off, right? That's what I say. Even if I'm bored out of my mind, why let them? You let some interesting stuff out there. You blatantly said that Brendan Schaub has cheated on his wife, right? And that is something you did say that. You did. I mean, yeah. So the baddies. Talk to me about this. First of all, who released the screenshot? Was it Luana or you?
I do not know. I did not release them.
Why do I not believe you here? How did this get released then? I mean, you signed off on it, said that this was
they're real.
True. Okay, Mark. Listen, all right, let me just say this.
Yeah.
we know that the cat's out of the bag, right?
Did I post them publicly? No,
Yeah.
I didn't. Have I had extended conversations with people where, after I've heard that Brendan Schaub is calling me a wife beater drug addict and that's why he had to fire me, and it wasn't just because I didn't text him back for a few hours, while I was editing reels, which is the actual truth. Do I owe this man any loyalty? He's tried to destroy my reputation behind my back covertly, so he doesn't have any he has plausible deniability for it. But, let me just, I don't know. You want to hear a voicemail of this person saying this?
Yes, I would like to hear that. And who is this person you're talking of?
It's one of his side pieces.
Okay. So, this is going to be interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, if you jumping in, this is Hella Mark Harley. We got a voicemail coming in.
Marky Mark. Okay, so Brad and I have been talking. He's been nice and acting normal. Told me that he had to fire you due to drug abuse and domestic violence. I acknowledge that, but I just wanted to let you know that's what he's telling people. This is me wine drunk. This is me when I said fuck around and find out. So, what the fuck? That's not a good look for you. Talk to me. Do not talk to him. Please talk to me. This is your legal advocate. Although I'm not allowed to give legal advice. It's against the law. But talk to me now. Quick.
There's more to it if you want.
My dog in the background. he's a puppy and he's running around back and forth and chewing a toy. But, dude, yeah. I feel like if I sent you a screenshot, that would, like, incriminate me. But, man, oh man. He's just flipping the script like he usually does and saying, you're the crazy one, and he had to fire you because you were abusive to your wife, and you have a drug addiction. I can't even. I feel bad being in the middle because I work in the law industry, so I know, like, this is fucking sketchy shit. But you're entitled to knowing what's being said about you, and so is he. But you are doing everything right. You're going on platforms and just, like you said, explaining your experiences, which is great. But he is just throwing out, like, I don't know what to call it. Yeah, he's saying that you were abusive to your wife, you have a drug problem, that all these things. I'll talk to you soon.
Wow.
And then it was verified by another one of his side pieces, who he claims all these girls are the only ones that he talks to and, he's going to leave his wife for. Turns out that's not the case. So when I told him that, and he goes, I'm like, yeah, I hate to break it to you, sweetie, but he's fucking everybody. That was his line to try to discredit me. And again, okay. I've been totally transparent with Brendan. He knows that I was the victim of abuse and even offered to get me an apartment. He's like, dude, you need to get out of that situation. This only ends one way. It's so toxic. She's so fucked up. Like, he hates the fuck out of Luana and always has. And I've showed him many, many pieces of evidence of her being super abusive to me. She knows that she's attacked me on multiple occasions. He's aware of proof that she has attacked me and lied to the police. And I'll be posting about that later, but I have multiple stories with, like, witnesses and evidence that, she has preemptively attacked me and lied to police. So he, knowing all that, he goes to multiple women and says, actually, Mark beats his wife and has a drug addiction. What drug was I addicted to? Mr. 120 milligrams of Adderall a day. But again, like, but I'm the narcissist. Like, listen to fucking Schaub project everything in his fucking life and go on insane smear campaigns in order to discredit somebody for telling the truth. One thing I've said about Schaub, it's not true.
I can't help but think, like, after hearing that, I can't help but think that Schaub was jealous of you and wanted to say nasty things about you to his side pieces so they didn't run off with you. That's what it sounds like to me. Any truth to that?
I don't think so, because, look, a lot of these girls I'd see on the road and, like, he generally just tends to treat people like shit anyway. So, like, I'd see him on the road and hang out with them when we'd be in different cities, and, like, they'd befriend me because I'm a nice guy and I actually believe in being friends with women. I don't see women as objects, and I don't see, a woman's worth as only being sexual. I know I'm like, I'm Mr. Feminist now, but it's like, so like I've some guys don't believe in having women friendships, and I'm just not like that. So I've always been, I'm nice to everybody, and that's the reason they felt comfortable coming to me after they saw me on, like, your podcast or different podcasts that I went on. They kind of came to me like, they're like, all right, so you're telling the truth about this guy. Like, what's the truth about what he's doing behind the scenes? And I'm like, again, at that point, I'm like, I have no fucking reason to lie to you. Like, if he's telling you this crazy bullshit, like, you're the only one and I'm going to leave my wife for you and let's have kids together and blah, blah, blah. And then, chicks will get mad because they see he's doing, like, in vitro fertilization with his wife. It's fucked up. It's fucked up to mislead people like that.
Wait, you got to back up. What do you mean about this in vitro thing? So
I'm saying some of these girls, like, if so imagine your date, you're some dude's side piece and he's telling you that she wants to, or he's telling you he wants to leave his wife and, get you pregnant and I don't know how much of that was explicitly said. I think a lot of it was, like this one in particular was like, we talked about fertility clinics, and I had this image in my head of us walking down the aisle. Like, so this chick in particular was convinced that she was going to fucking marry him and have kids with him. Obviously that's not going to happen, dude. But like, if a guy's telling you that, maybe you believe it. And like, I'm going to lie to her to like keep that delusion going for what? So she just came to me to ask, like, are there other women? And it's like, again, as you can see from the baddies text, after this point, I'm like, look, I don't give a fuck. Somebody asks about this shit. Like, I've shared some of those things privately, and I don't feel any ethical way about that because we can see what Brendan Schaub was sharing about me privately, false information designed to discredit and smear me. So if I fucking take a screenshot in my phone and be like, yeah, here you go. And who knows, it could have been one of these girls, that I sent this shit to let them know the truth, and don't put your fucking eggs in the basket of a pathological liar who tells you he's going to have kids with you. I talked to the person who did post the screenshots, and they said that they got it from somebody else. I didn't inquire any further.
Okay.
That's all.
Now, let me just make this very clear to the chat, okay? I try to stay as unbiased as possible, but we have Mark here. So we have to hear his side of the story, and it's very interesting. I'm actually on the edge of my seat listening to this. So I appreciate your transparency. But yes, we only have one side to the story, and to the people out there that are criticizing whatever, or saying, why you believe in this guy, this and that, because we're only getting one side. I actually reached out to Brendan. I reached out to, his producer, and I said, hey, come on. It's only fair. It's not about the views at this point. I want to know what the fuck's going on. You got me sucked into this thing now.
Yeah.
Brendan Schaub, right before we went live, he actually released this clip on Instagram. I don't know if you got to see this yet, but I would like to get your reaction to this because it's actually kind of fascinating. The whole story behind Brendan and all the fun stuff he's doing to the trug, walking to the trug, and all that fun stuff over there. If you go to his Instagram, right? He has a video that he just dropped, literally just dropped, a very emotional video here. Let me pull us both up here. Movie magic, and here's Hella Mark right there. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to play this over here. So a big announcement. Did you see this yet?
No.
Okay,
No.
let me play this. Now, Brendan, please don't flag me for this. I mean, this is a fair use. This is nothing bad. I just want to see Mark's reaction to the video here. Let me know what one's in the chat if you've seen this yet. But here's Brendan Schaub. He's got a very special announcement.
Is one on the old bucket list. Not too many people know this, but for the last 5 years, your boy has been saving every single dime from all my touring on the road for one reason only. It's a big goal for anybody, whatever you're doing, whether you're in entertainment, podcasting, YouTuber, regular gig, whatever it is. Your goal always is to buy your parents a house. My kids are going crazy right now. My kids are going absolutely crazy. The goal is always buy your parents a house. Well, today, all that hard work, all those tour dates, all that stuff, it's come to fruition. I'm buying my mother-in-law a house. She's the best grandma in the world. She has no idea this is happening. She's gonna pull up the house. I'm gonna give her the keys. So I wanna thank the fans out there for making this possible, buying every single ticket to all those crazy cities I was in. To the haters too, you motivate me more than you know, but I love you guys. And
okay, so basically he's buying his mother-in-law, the one that was featured in the Gringo Poppy, a new house. Now, this is kind of wild because we just got the Baddies thing released not that long ago, and then conveniently this video pops up of is this damage control or what's going on here, Mark? Can you break this down for me?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, Brendan's response to everything, like, I was kind of shocked that he even gave a statement to you, because his real philosophy on everything is like, just ignore it. He loves to bury his head in the sand and act like nothing's wrong. And if he does respond, obviously, like, he just lies about everything. Like, it's impossible for him to be transparent or own up to mistakes. I mean, like, when have we ever seen that? Like, in a true way, like, maybe he'd be like, yeah, we both fucked up, or he has some sort of like couching or something like that. But like, it would be impossible. It's very hard to picture him, unless something financially forced him to acknowledge this, he's not going to do it. Like that's not his style at all, because he doesn't like accountability. And so this could be some masterminded attempt to distract, but I think it just is probably something that happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know he's been trying to do it for a while, and I think it was difficult to buy a house. And I heard from some people that, you know, an inside source of mine said, and this is somebody who I trust and who I think, you know, has seen the books, who knows perhaps somebody who would have seen this information, that he had a house lined up, and then it was time to put the down payment down, and he didn't have that money in the account, so he made up some lie. He told the real estate agent to like lie to his mother-in-law and say there was something wrong that needed to be fixed. You know, it's like, oh, the foundation is off, or, you know, when you go through the checklist of buying a home, the inspection, that there was something that happened in the inspection that means that they'd have to put it off, and it's a sign to maybe not buy right now. So I know, like, again, that's from an inside source. I'm not speculating. That's from somebody who like was involved in this search and had access to see, was the money available to put in escrow, and it wasn't. So there was at least some deception on his part involved in putting off this moment until now. And so maybe they found something cheaper, or maybe he became flush with cash, or something happened that he was able to do this. I'm glad, because his mother-in-law is an awesome person.
Yeah, she seems very sweet. And here's the rest of the clip that he put on Instagram here. It's a very sensitive side to Bappa.
I didn't even think about this. What if she doesn't like the house?
There's a little comedy there. A little comedy he's throwing in there.
I can't hear what he's saying, though. That's
oh, you can't hear what he's saying? Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. Well, anyway, here, I'll show it over here. The chat could hear it. But basically, he's walking off, and his mother-in-law pops up. And they give each other a nice little hug, and it's very nice. She seems like a sweetheart.
Yeah. It's a genuine moment. Somebody I see in the chat saying Mark's making this up on the spot. No, I'm not. I was only deciding about whether or not I wanted to talk about it, because like I had to think of like, if I give this information, will it reveal, you know, who the person is who I got it from? But let's just say I wouldn't fucking say if it wasn't true.
Yeah.
That's all.
The weird thing, so that's what's weird about everything here. Like, and I just heard it again today. Someone was just saying how much of a sweetheart Brendan Schaub is, this and that. Like I said, I never met him. I'm just hearing your side of the story. I'm hearing. Listen, yeah. But you know, it's weird. The whole thing is weird. Would you say, like, you would say Brendan Schaub is a narcissist, right? You've said that before in interviews, right?
Yeah. He's a covert narcissist,
Okay.
and I think he does a good job for the most part of managing his public image. It's just, I think with these people, like, there's a lot of clips of him saying, I'm a good guy. And with things like this, do you think he ever misses a moment to promote himself as somebody who, like, does good and gives to people? Now, like, I'm not taking away the fact that he is doing that, but I'm also aware of various instances in which he has misrepresented the amount of charitable giving that he's done, or the nature of him buying things for other people. Let's say, for example, I forgot if I bring this up before, but let's say, like, he said he bought a car for somebody, and turns out that he only paid for like 1/10 of it, or like 3 out of the 36 payments that are due on a lease. But then he's still talking about, at the end of those 36 months, 36 monthly payments. Let's say at the end of those payments, he's still bragging about it and saying, like, I've been paying for this person's car. What would you think about that? Like, is that still a good, sweet guy, or is that a pathological liar who uses deception to present himself as someone generous to deflect from the fact that he can be selfish and exploitative? Well, and that describes everybody. I don't know, but like, that's one example. There's other examples of, like, he's saying, oh, I'm going to give to Hurricane Harry victims. And then somebody asks about him, like, at a meet and greet. They're like, oh, it's so cool when you gave to Hurricane Harry. He's like, what? Like, he didn't know what they're talking about. That's like a famous story. So again, not taking away from anything that he's done, but there are documented instances, like the thing with Ray Borg, where he's like, I got your whole medical bills covered. But then it's like, then why is he still raising money for it if you covered his entire medical bills like 6 months later? So I think he makes big promises. Sometimes he follows through on them. Sometimes he falls very short. we don't hear about the times that he falls very short, but he enjoys making the big promise and kind of getting the high off of that. And I'm not even judging that like that's malicious, because I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be like, I'm going to do this grand thing. And then you're like, oh shit, I don't have the money or the time, or like your promises can catch up with you. You write a check that your ass can't cash. And that happens to everybody. I just see it as a little bit more of a pattern with him, and I've seen it up close.
Well, yeah, that's where I was kind of leading to it. Like, it is weird that he's got to record this. Seems like a very personal moment, a very an emotional moment. Why the fuck are there cameras there unless he's doing damage control? Like, that's the thing that didn't make any sense to me. I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, you know, he seems like a nice guy. This is a really nice thing. You're buying a house for your mother-in-law. She's all dolled up. All the cameras are out. He's getting emotional. They're hugging on camera. I'm like, wait a second. Why the fuck are the cameras there? If I got to this stage of my life where I was doing very well for myself and I did something, this is a personal, emotional moment, why the fuck am I filming this unless I did something horrible? Like, that's the only thing I can think of.
I think that's uncharitable but fair interpretation of events. And given everything, like, that's the thing, is like, you can take many moments and go like, well, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. If you give Brendan the benefit of the doubt over and over and over and over again, sure, he looks like a good guy. But having seen like 1,000 examples of things like this, I go like, well, if 800 of them turn out to be like kind of like he's misleading to make himself look good and it's less than what he's saying, you're like, you just start to see a pattern. But if you take any moment out of context, it's like, oh, that's a guy buying his mother-in-law a house. You have to look at the bigger picture and you have to look at the pattern in order to make the kind of assessment you're saying. And I think like that's certainly given what we know about him, that's just verifiable. It's not even speculation or claims on my part. Given what we know about him, that's ultimately, it's not a kind assessment, but it's fair and it's reasonable. So. Okay.
Now I do want to talk about, because it is all over the place, these baddies. So were you the guy? So you were the guy that wrangled the baddies? Were you the dude?
Yeah. Well, I'll be very specific here. I was relaying messages back and forth. So these messages would come at like all hours of the day. Like, that's one of the more exhausting parts of the job, and kind of why I was offended when Brendan would be like, oh, Mark's like not working hard enough. It's like, dude, I'm on call for you 24/7 doing the stupidest shit, like, while also like editing and doing Photoshop and doing like creative work. Or like, you're like, hey, you're not like, you know, you're on your phone too much. He used to say that to me, and that's like one of these criticisms. It's like, I'm on my phone too much. Or he's like, oh, you came in late, you know, like that was one of the things he said to you. And I'm like, name one time I came in late. Like, you mean when I wake up and I'm editing at 8 a.m. and like fielding your like social media, check my DMs requests. So, and then I come into the office at 11, but I've already been working for 3 or 4 hours. It's very exhausting because it's such an inefficient use of anyone's time. And I think the only reason that he had somebody else do this was plausible deniability to his wife that, like, that, how could I be cheating on Instagram? I don't even have it on my phone, you know? And so I forget when it started, but it was like, I started to realize, like, he asked more directly, but like he'd always ask about DMs. He'd be like, any DMs, any DMs, any DMs. And like, at first it was just that, like, but how socials kind of mean, it's like, I'd be like, oh, here's the screenshots of how the posts are performing. And then he'd follow up. It's like, well, that's not what I want. Like, so he wouldn't be specific. He'd be like, how's socials? But that really means how's DMs? And that really means, are there any hot chicks in my inbox messaging me who might live in the area that I want to go do comedy in this weekend? So it's really, because it's like, then it's like, what do you want me to say? Then I get this and screenshot it and send it back to you. It's like the stupidest fucking game of telephone I've ever played. And ultimately just a really stupid use of my time. And then like, you're creating this, you know, third party of receipts for the dirt that you're doing. And then, you know, like another thing he accused me of that's so ridiculous. He goes, well, he told one of these chicks, he's like, well, Mark would get some of the girls like from my DMs. I've never fucking talked to a girl out of his DMs in my entire life. That's a stupid, like, what am I going to be like? Oh, by the way, this is Mark Harley. I know I've been pretending to be Brendan Schaub the whole time, but also like you should check out my page. And if Brendan rejects you, come like, what the fuck would that be? It's so stupid. But that was another way in which he used to discredit me. So all I'm saying is, it's a stupid use of anyone's time. Eventually he stopped doing it. He's got his own phone, but it was like every time he'd ask, and it's like 11 p.m. and I'm with my wife and we're about to go to bed, and then I see a text light up and it's like, 1 second, I have to like relay a message, like a winking emoji from Brendan and ask if she's going to be around. And it's like, and he's also just like the worst flirter of all time. It's like a fucking 8th grader trying to pick up girls. So it was just like painful on top of being stupid and inefficient.
Wow. Yeah, I saw some of the DMs that were released, and it was very goofy. It was very realistic. What's up with the Aaron Hernandez avatar for him? What's that story about?
Oh, that's something I did initially just as a joke because I know people said he looked like him. So like, I have this funny picture for Chappelle too that somebody made that was like it's him on Cali Muscle's body. So to show you like, this is wait.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's like a funny picture I had for Chappelle, a funny picture I had for Brendan. So I just kept it. It wasn't actually meant like as an insult or to say like he's a murderer or like, it was just like upon meeting him, like I'm like, isn't this funny if I have your avatars? That so.
Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna release the donations over here. We have a couple in queue, ladies and gentlemen. We have Hella Mark Harley on. Nice of him to stop by and share some more very interesting stories. Brendan Schaub, he went down the whole rabbit hole of his marriage as well. And he's a single man, ladies. So the baddies could. Are you ready for the baddies yet or no?
I'm now dating somebody. So.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Who's being attacked viciously online as well. So
wait, so is it the same girl that was in that Instagram picture that your wife? It is. Okay, Mark. When did you meet this one?
In November in Rhode Island. We talked briefly before that, and met up at one of the shows. So
interesting. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I met her and we visited my brother and sister-in-law also live in Rhode Island, so she drove me out to visit them and we hung out, and she's receiving a lot of harassment online too. People are calling her, a home wrecker and just lots of terrible shit that like, she doesn't have to deal with.
Yeah.
And she's been really, really helpful and supportive during a very, very difficult time. And she's, receiving a big brunt of this too, because Luana brought her into it and is mocking her for having, she had a podcast that talks about being the survivor of it. She's like, she was in a legit abusive relationship as well. And that was one of the topics that they had discussed on one of her podcasts. So people were viciously mocking her, like, this fucking bitch has a podcast about, surviving abuse, and then she does this, and she's, as you can imagine, it's just to be expected when people frame things on the internet a certain way. But she's as sweet as can be and has been nothing but supportive during, again, a very dark time. So
yeah, sounds like you're in love. What's got my brain scrambled a little bit is the last time I had you on was a month ago, and you were with your wife, so you were dating her. Is this like a Mormon thing going on here? Like what the hell was going? I'm trying to figure out the timeline here.
I was planning on leaving. It's just like, the execution of that. Again, like I said, it was up in the air, and like something that was very daunting for me. Ultimately, I knew I wanted to get out of the relationship. Doesn't mean that I can't function in a relationship and keep things somewhat smooth. But as you can see, there was a lot of difficulties in getting out of the relationship because every time I attempted so was risking physical violence towards me that could be potentially turned around. So
okay. Mark, listen, you are fascinated, my man. Like every time we turn down another corner, there's more excitement. This is crazy over here. This is nuts. All I'm thinking about is Luana. She's like going to bat for you against Brendan Schaub. Meanwhile, you're fucking some other chick on the side. Look at you, big guy. Look at what's going on here. Lifting up cars. I mean, this is special stuff.
Yeah, I know. Again, it's not ideal how it went down. I feel bad for causing her hurt in that regard, and her pain and response to that is legitimate. I felt like I didn't really have a lot of great options in that scenario.
Oh, just talk like one of the boys, Mark. It's okay, man. You're on the MMA-Holes. You don't have to be politically correct here.
Okay,
you're amongst friends, man. Come on, you're smashing some other girl you traded in for the new model. Talk to me, Mark.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, you're giving me permission to do that, but I can already see that it's going to be clipped into something fucking terrible to make me look like a raging misogynist. And I'm just a calm misogynist, not a raging misogynist.
So
but yeah,
you see yourself having kids with this one, settling down, no crazy stuff anymore, a new Mark, right?
A new Mark, no crazy stuff.
Okay.
Very calm. I mean, and just by the nature of the relationship, this is, it's night and day as far as calm, confrontation, any issue we've had, we've been able to talk through calmly and communicate. And like, I'm not gonna, get too into depth about what my plans are, but I would just say that as the foundation for this or any relationship should be calm communication, and that's one of these red flags that if I could go back in time, I would pay attention to when there's conflict or disagreement, how is it resolved and the ease of which it's resolved, and how does this person listen to you, and how do they support you during a difficult time, and how do they make you feel when emotions are really high. And so far, these two experiences couldn't be further from each other. Just absolutely night and day.
Well, I'm happy that you are happy. Finally, you found, and no green card involved with this one, right?
No green card.
Okay, good. And now Luana, she moved on officially? Is she completely or is she still trying to latch her claws into you? She's good.
Oh, no. She's moved. I mean, it's funny that you asked that because a lot of people have been asking me that, like, you're not going to get together. I'm like, after she tried to destroy me in my life and make sure that I can never earn a dollar again, in a public space. So there's just certain things, obviously, that people do to you, and I'm not saying that I'm not at fault, in any way, but it's obvious what her attempt is.
Okay.
She's swinging for the fences to try to ruin my life and paint me as something that makes you a pariah in this society and many other societies. So, there's just no coming back from that, obviously.
Gotcha. Okay. Would you be free for handling some messages from the community? What do you say?
Sure.
Okay. Let's fire these things in here real quick. Thank you for the new subscribers coming in. We're live with Hella Mark Harley. He's said a lot tonight. We've learned a lot, and we have been updated on what's going on in the world of big. Are you still BGL? You still go by that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Super chat.
This is from Ice Wallow Cum. What a name.
DM the baddie Marg.
He says DM the baddie. Okay, there we go. Thank you for that. It's going to get interesting.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Funny.
Great to have this guy back on the show. What a handsome bastard. I tell ya, Mark looks like Brad Pitt if Brad Pitt had a twin with Down syndrome.
Have you ever?
It's pretty true.
You've gotten that before, you're saying?
Well, people will tell me I look like Brad Pitt. It's like, don't that's a very flattering interpretation of how I look, but I think that's not too accurate. Brad Pitt with mental retardation hits the mark.
Okay, no pun intended. Here we go. Thank you for the subscribes coming in. Appreciate that. Make sure you hit the like button as well. Helps out the channel. Let's see what else we got over here. It looks like a couple other donations that came in. Just got to get through some of these subscribers here. Okay.
Super chat.
Esteban.
Marg, you think Bapaverse karma is getting back at you?
Do you think Bapaverse karma is getting back at you?
That's a good question. I would just say my karma for staying in a toxic relationship for too long is getting back at me. I know this, the one situation exacerbated the other, but I don't really believe in karma. The two things are unrelated, except that one expedited the other problem, but it's not like it caused that. And perhaps I think Luana was kind of emboldened seeing the attention that I got from going public with certain things, because at the end of the day, there's nothing that she loves more than attention. And people will call me oh, you're attention seeking. I'm like, yeah, you should meet Luana. She wanted to be an influencer before, but just didn't have any sort of hook. She'd, spend all day curating posts on Instagram to have every single color and shade look perfect. But it's like, yeah, nobody gives a shit how nice your smoothie looks on Instagram. You know, you need to be nearly butt naked or be an expert at something or make crazy content. And some women find this hook with making their entire identity abuse victim. That's what she's done. She's now found success at that. Her following has like tripled or quadrupled in a week. And, you know, she's high off that. And I think, again, it was modeled. She saw how I was able to get attention and notoriety from like kind of speaking out, you know, about feeling like I was being wronged. So that's just my theory. Maybe she would have done it regardless, but like that's my own karma, not for outing people, because I knew that if this were to ever end badly with Luana, of course she was going to do this. Of course she was going to slander me online. She can't do anything but that. And I always knew that that was like the minefield that I'd have to walk through if things ever ended badly, or if she ever felt like I was the one who left her. Had she left me, and I could have been like, oh my God, I'm so sad. Like, I don't want, you know, like then she wouldn't have done that, because she would have felt like she won and crushed me and I was the pathetic loser in the situation. But the only way that she couldn't feel like the pathetic loser in the situation is to absolutely destroy me. And again, that's a result of my own decisions. It's not because of karma. That's because of decisions that I made and actions that I took.
There you go. Let's see. We got
super chat.
KM's coming in. Thank you, KM.
He's trying to get love from Reddit brothers that hated him 2 months ago. You're middle-aged. 7K followers. You're not a celebrity. Stay offline.
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea that like, I'm not a celebrity. I never said I was a celebrity. Like, oh no, I'm not a celebrity. Devastating insult.
Yeah. What are you looking to get out of all of this? Like, I mean, you did mention last time that you might start a podcast or something like that. Are you looking?
You know, I still am. I mean, like, I just want to make content. I'm coming on your show again because last time you were very diplomatic in asking me, and then on the show I appreciated that you did your research. I appreciated that you let me talk, and I appreciated that you got statements from Schaub's camp to present me and allow me an opportunity to rebuttal. And I think you're doing more of the same now. So like, I just thought it was a good time. I don't go into situations like this where like, oh, I hope I get another 1,000 followers, or I hope I get, it's cool to see that people enjoy the interview, but I can't express how much that doesn't drive what I'm doing, because people who know me know that I'll go on any podcast. If you have 100 followers, I'll go on if you ask me politely and we vibe, you know? So.
Yeah, I tell you what, you know, listen, let me just say this from my end. I barely know you, but it's been very cordial. Like, you've seemed like a fucking cool dude. Like, listen, a lot of this stuff is out of control and it's wild. The videos, the accusations and all that stuff. But just by knowing you from just the limited time I've gotten to talk to you, you seem like you're all right. So, I mean, I don't know. That's my experience with you. Maybe we'll have passionate sex after this. I don't know. But,
well, you know, that's, I always try to do that. It's like, well, a lot of people say other things or whatever, and I'm just going to try to focus on like my experience with this person has been this, so that's what I'm going to speak about.
Yeah. I do have to say this, though. I would say, before I get back into these donations, I would diagnose you. I'm not a therapist or anything like that, but I would diagnose you with a little bit of narcissism. Would you find yourself being narcissistic?
How so?
Okay.
And no, it's I mean, like, if you want to make that case, that's fine. But
the reason why I'm saying this is because I feel like every content creator has a little bit of narcissism in there. But the scariest narcissists out there are in denial. And that's why I ask you this, because if you are in denial, then you are scary as fuck. But if you are open to it, perhaps, you know.
Well, here's where I'd sort of diagnose myself as like vanity, for sure. You know, my physical appearance it's not the most important thing in my life, but like I put effort into my body, into looking at, like, that is an important part of my thing, that I'm not just going to like succumb to like, I don't give a fuck how I look. And so I certainly cop to prioritizing vanity maybe more than some other people my age do. And I'm okay with that. I like attention to some degree. I don't think it's my be all end all. I like attention for certain things. Like I like attention for the things that I feel like I'm competent at. I don't feel like I just broadly like attention. I'm not afraid whatsoever to be alone. I enjoy a lot of alone time. I'm very comfortable with giving other people the spotlight as well. So I you know, sometimes you're in a room with somebody who's like more malignant as a narcissist, and it's like, Jesus Christ, like the spotlight can't be off them for 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it and will sort of like sign up for that. You know, it's like, oh, there's a spotlight, like, and we're taking, I'll take my turn, like doing my fucking song and dance. I'll be on a stage, I'll be performing, I'll absorb attention as an extrovert and have that energize me to some degree. I just don't think that some of these other traits like exploitation, callousness, and being in control. And I also don't think of myself as an insecure person. Like I'm not driven by insecurities. You know, I have some, but I just don't like, I think I have a relatively stable sense of self. And that's why I offer to go on these shows. And it's like, I know who I am and I'm okay admitting my flaws. And that's why I feel comfortable like speaking extemporaneously. When you could grill me as much as you want, but
so you would say no.
Well, I say that you're anybody who says that, I just don't spend a lot of time like rebutting it. Like I'm not vicious going, you know, people have called me that enough times that I consider that question. It's just, I don't think I'm very high on the scale.
Okay.
You know, because I think you should weight other things like how often does this person exploit others? So it's not about just liking attention. Sure, I like attention and I'm vain. What would be the other factors that you'd weigh more heavily that put you, you know, higher up on this scale?
Mm-hmm. Okay, there you go. I wouldn't expect a yes or no answer from you. I would expect that answer. So thank you. Let's have another question from the chat over here. This is from Immigration Attorney.
Wonderful.
Oh boy, this is gonna get bad.
Domestic violence will automatically qualify her for a green card if she can prove it.
Oh, does she have her green card now or no?
Green card, yeah.
She does have it. Oh, okay. So no worries with that.
And what if I can prove that she commits domestic violence against me?
Yeah. That's going to get weird. So,
that's also, let me just tell you, that's why, in 2017, she actually framed me like I had all my stuff moved out. I had just been cast on the show 50 Central. And she, I don't know if you can see this.
Hold on, let me put it on here so you can see nice and close.
So this is in 2017. I was trying to move out when she wasn't there. My brother came down from LA and there we go. My brother came down from LA and was helping me move out. She was supposed to be out for the day. She came back early and found me like in the middle of, I was almost had my shit in. She blocked my brother's car in. So we were kind of trapped. She starts following me around the house. She sees that like I'm arguing. She's like, "You're not gonna fucking leave." And this is all again. She told me to move out. She was accusing me of cheating with some girl that I wasn't cheating with. It was just a friend. And she was like, "I know you're fucking Sabrina." And it's like, I'm not fucking Sabrina, you know. And I really wasn't. She lived in San Francisco. We just like, you know, she was a friend of mine. And we're working on a script idea together. So like, yeah, we text a lot about ideas and shit like that. And she's also just a friend before I knew Luana. I'd never done anything with her. Anyway, she comes home early with my car. I was ready to ditch my car to like I had this Honda Accord that I was like, I'm just sacrificing the Honda Accord to get the fuck out of this situation. And she comes home early, blocks my brother's car in, starts going nuts in the house. I'm like grabbing my toiletry bag, like literally like my toothbrush is the last thing that I'm getting from the bathroom. So I'm in the bathroom, like bending over, exchanging words with her. She pounces on my back, like, so she's like on top of me, rips my face, as you can see, like digs her claws in, pulls my hair, like grabs a chunk of hair with one hand, grabs claws my face with the other. She's going like this, raking backwards, grabbing my hair, and she's like riding me like a fucking bronco, you know. Seriously. And
Yeah.
And I have to like somebody's doing this and this. My response is I grab her hands like this, like I grab her wrists and I'm trying to like pull them off of me, and then I throw her I kind of like slip her off me with forcefully though, because like again she's trying to cling on to my face and hair. I grab her wrist, throw her off me, and I remember she like slid across the living room floor on the hardwood surfaces. My brothers through the window and saw this all happen outside, and she immediately takes out her phone and goes, "Oh my God, 911? Yes, my husband just assaulted me. I'm here." And I'm like, oh my fucking God. But I wasn't going to run. I was like, I'm not going to fucking leave. Like, we're going to deal with this right now. I had this instinct to be like, I'm going to get the fuck out of here before she frames me for this shit. But I was like, I'm not going to fucking do it. Not today. I stayed there. She tells this whole fake story to the cops. I end up in handcuffs. And I'm going, dude, you like, give me my, I need to put my statement in. The opposite of what she's saying happened. I was assaulted, and they were going, oh, she has marks on her wrist, right? Because I guess if you grab, so like, if I grab you and you're a small girl, it's like, oh my God, I have, whatever it was. Like, I'm sure I grabbed her pretty hard to keep her from ripping my hair out. When two people have marks on them, it's like this complicated thing in California, because normally it's like, oh, if you have marks on you, the other person gets arrested. Well, we both have marks. It's like my bleeding from my face. They had to call a female supervisor, remember? Like, so I'm in cuffs for like 2 hours, like just sitting there like, okay, man, I'm going to be calm. But like my fucking brother witnessed this shit. Why aren't you talking to him? And like, well, he's a biased source. And, finally this woman comes. We go to the bathroom. She sees my gray hair is all over the fucking floor, because I told the story. She's like, all right, well, let's go see. And she's like, all right, I guess he's telling the truth. But I forgot what fucking question you asked. But
let's move on to the next one. That's a wild story, though, man. That's fucking nuts.
That's and that's why I started filming shit, and that's why, because I just said, like, had I known, I would have filmed it. Had I known she was capable of that, but sorry, it was the green card thing. Mm-hmm. It took her years to even cop to that incident. Like for like a year, she was like, no, you actually assaulted me. I'm like, oh my fucking God, are we still doing this? And then like we took MDMA one time, and she finally felt like safe enough to admit. She's like, yes, I did that because of the green card thing. But again, it's like, you tried to frame me for a felony so you could stay in the country? Fuck you. Like, that's what are crazy. You capable of?
That's right. That was the question with the whole green card. That's nuts. Dude, that's fucking crazy.
Like, I'm gonna get a statement from my brother to verify that, and there's probably still a police report somewhere about that incident. But like, that's who we're sympathizing for. Somebody who would ruin my entire life so she could stay in the country.
Well, according to our live chat, there's still Team Mark, 66% out of 600 votes. Mark over Luana, so 34%. What would you say to that? 34
are favoring Luana. That's interesting.
Yeah, those people don't believe you. But let's see. Well, at least you got the majority. Uh-oh. We got Schaub. It's Schaub.
You hear that jam?
Oh my God, Schaub is here. Oh boy.
Why does this dude look like a grandpa but act like a high school kid? Maybe it has something to do with social media's effect on most of today's world. Bro, why are there so many videos of you and your chick physically fighting?
I think we got to answer that with this.
Yeah, I think so. And the gray, so the gray is naturally, right? How long have you been, like, that's the look that's going on here. How long, when did you start going gray?
None of your goddamn business.
Oh, come on, Mark.
No, it's been a very gradual descent into grayness. Mm-hmm. Really, when I was very young, when I was a teenager, I noticed a few of them, and this has been like little by little by little. It wasn't any sort of sudden turn.
Mm-hmm. So. I tell you what, it works. I couldn't rock that. I have to dye my fucking beard. I wish I looked as gorgeous as you, Mark. I'm not blessed.
Super
somebody said bald spot. Where's my bald spot?
Ha 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 ha, you're FB. Is Luana coming on Holes?
If Luana wants to come on, send her over here. Why would I turn that down? I don't know. What would you think? Do you think Luana would come on this show? And would that be interesting? I guess it would, right? Would she be?
I mean, yeah, she does. Go ahead.
Yeah. We should get you both on at the same time. I mean, that's the show, right? You, Mark, and Luana. I mean, you, Schaub, and Luana. Excuse me. That would be amazing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Other things. Now, Luana, I know for a fact, Brendan would never come on.
Yeah.
Luana just might come on.
Okay. That'd be interesting.
She would be paranoid that you would be trying to play gotcha or trick her or something like that. So that would be the only thing that
I would hit her over the head. I would hold the car back and not let her go. I would do a little bit of that. Kainoto coming in.
Wonderful.
Oh, this is a long one here. Hold on.
Mark, the last time you were on the show you called out some audience members' joke about Brendan's wife and said you draw that line at woman shaming. Mark, can you please define what woman shaming is? Is punching your wife in the face woman shaming?
I've never punched her in the face.
Was there a claim that you punched her in the face? I didn't hear that, but was there?
I addressed that earlier. There was some claim, like, again, there was a video from this room. She has a video of me at night and says, "Did you just hit me?" And of course I didn't. Like, imagine me punching Luana. Imagine the aftermath of that, of me punching her in the face. You'd think it'd be more than be like, oh, it's like, was that a slight breeze? Did you just punch me in the face? She said, "Did you just hit me?" Because I went like this to her forehead.
And there was never a time, right? Never a time you laid your hand. Well, there was one time with the restraining that you were talking about, right?
Never hit or slapped her. There's been situations where there's mutual combat. She's grabbed my hair many times. She's bit me. She's kicked me. I mean, she punched me in the face fucking 2 weeks ago while I was naked in the dark. Like, this is a person who initiates preemptive violence and gets into tangles with you. And then if anything happens, she'll take a picture of, her wrists or her arm. It's like, oh my God, there's a bruise on mine. It's like, yeah, after you punched me and headbutted me and fucking tried to wrestle, like, she does crazy shit. And then like, yeah, you're going to get scuffed up if you're like trying to wrestle me and pull my hair or poke my fucking eye out, which she's tried to do before. Stick her fingers up my nose, and she's done all sorts of crazy shit. Kick me in the nuts. And then she'll be like, "Oh, I have a red mark on my elbow." So I
like how you say mutual combat. That's the first time I've heard a relationship described with mutual combat.
It's like you can like what am I supposed to do? Like now there was an incident with the frying pan incident when she hit me in the head with the frying pan. She hit me in the head with the frying pan. I'm again leaned over and packing, so she like launched on my back while I'm on all fours and put me in a rear naked choke. Except I was like, you were trying to kill me, you just don't know how to choke, so you kill me. But that was, again, her asking me to leave, and I started packing a suitcase, and I tried to set up the camera, like, on the cat tree, but, like, either it was out of storage or, like, it got knocked over, like, because when you're, like, doing a selfie video and the, like, it might, like, hit the button when it falls on the carpet. Something happened where, like, I didn't get the video, but I just got the aftermath. But she admits to it on camera. She jumps to my back, hits me in the head, tries to choke me, and in that instance, I remember being like, don't do anything. Like, don't throw her off you. Don't give her anything that she can use. Like, just let her keep trying to choke you and just try to, not go out and then let her tire her arms out.
Oh, my God. By the way, if you're jumping in, this is Mark Harley. We showed some of the videos in the beginning of the stream, so you can run it back and check that out for yourself. We had all the descriptions about those videos. I'm just trying to get to these donations here.
Super
This is
chat.
from Hershey Squirt 187. What a name.
Don't let this guy manipulate you. He's full of you know what.
Wow. Are you manipulating me, Mark?
Not in the slightest. I mean, I like claims like that because it's like, okay, like, I'm manipulating you by doing what? Misleading you? Saying a lie? That's on you to verify that. You can't just listen to somebody talk and be like, he's misleading you. It's like, all right, what would be the details of my misleading, misinformation, or deception? I've come on here and I've told the truth, and unless you want to provide a specific contradiction to what I'm saying with evidence, then what you're saying holds no weight.
There you go. See, you heard it from the man himself. He's not manipulating me. This is his side of the story, and
I swear.
If you were in court and hand on the Bible, are you a religious person? Would you swear on the Bible?
Yes, I would swear on a Bible.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. What does your family think about this? Like, you mentioned your brother. Like, what do they think? I'm like, Mark, man.
My family has hated Luana, since essentially within the first year of meeting her. She burns a lot of bridges. Like, It's funny, in this room, actually, my mom was telling me this story because I wanted to get her to have some statements on camera. And she told the story how, like, so this is on the second floor. This is a 3-story place. And she comes up the stairs. Like, I was trying to get away from her. I'm like, dude, you're pestering me with arguments again. You're following me around. I came up the stairs. I locked the door behind me and, like, put it shut. And this is like 11 p.m. She's banging on the door, like, let me the fuck in here, like, going nuts, like, bum, 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 bum. And my mom, who goes to sleep at 9 p.m., wakes up and was like, Luana, what the fuck are you doing? And at some point she saw me, like I opened up the door briefly and just, like, pushed her away. Like, I, like, opened up the door, and my mom was like, yeah, like, your hand came out and, like, pushed her. And she did this dramatic, like, oh my God, I'm falling down the stairs thing. And then my mom comes out, is like, what are you doing? And she's like, Marcus, push me downstairs.
Super chat.
I apologize. One slipped in here.
Mark Harley greater than Jesus Christ.
He is greater than Jesus Christ. I apologize. That slipped in. So she pretended that you shoved her down the stairs.
That I pushed her down the stairs, and there's, like, this 6-foot gap. Like, I would have had to, like, pick her up and throw her to even get her to, like, it's like, go down the stairs. But it was funny, like, hearing my mom call her out. She's like, no, I just watched. She's like, I'm calling the police. Oh, Mark just pushed me down the stairs. And she's like, no, you're not calling the police. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you just woke up all my neighbors. Mark didn't push you down the stairs. You're pounding on the door at 11 p.m. He wants to get the fuck away from you.
Wow.
So
yeah, I guess your mom would find that a little weird. That's
right,
wild.
right. And I'm using that one example of, like, people who meet her tend to be like, I don't like the way that she treats you, because when we're in social situations, she often just, if I'm getting a lot of attention, she'll tend to kind of undermine me and say mean things or make a joke at my expense. And it's kind of like, could you not do, like, we're at a nice, like, Christmas party. Could you not, like, mock me? Like, in a way, it's like, yeah, I'm all for jokes and stuff like that, but it'll just kind of be like it feels a little bit off, It's like, ooh, like, and other people pick up on it.
Okay.
It's like, here's how my friends are joking with me, and then you're doing this other thing. Anyway.
Let's we only got a couple more left. Here's another Schaub. Oh boy.
You hear that jam?
It's from Tropic Tom coming in.
You see, he goes from one immigrant to the next. As a successful comedian, I have to take a stand against these islanders trying to enter the USA, luring patriotic Americans into a relationship. What kind of name is Rhodes anyway?
Okay.
Funny.
All right. Do you want to address that, or?
Yeah, he's absolutely right. I'm importing island girls, and I'm taking advantage of immigrants.
Okay, so there you go. You're spot on with that one. This is from
Super chat.
It's from Steve Yoder coming in.
Mark, what supplements are you taking? Honestly, bro.
Okay, I'm sure you get that question all the time. Supplements.
Yeah, I assume you mean the steroids. For actual supplements, I just take a pre-workout from JYM Gym Supplements. They have a really good pre-workout, post-workout, and protein. And then I was doing an experiment just running a high dose of nandrolone only. And that's kind of a controversial topic in the, anabolic steroid community. It has less androgenic side effects than testosterone, but a lot of people don't like it. So I was running like 100 milligrams a day of nandrolone phenylpropionate. Has everybody tuned out already, or is that interesting? And then I ran that for a few months, and I'm just switching back to just doing testosterone.
Okay, there you go. So have you spoken to Schaub ever since the firing and everything like that? Have you ever had?
No, he shot with those voicemails or whatever, and then, like, he could email me if you wanted. Like, if he was really insistent on contacting me, he would. But obviously, I don't think. What did he have to say? Like, when he hits me up like, "Hey, I don't like how things ended. Let's get together for coffee." It's like, to talk about what? I hate when people do that. I hate when people. It's like, you need to meet up with me in order to resolve this issue that, like, I'm not feeling good about. Why don't you tell me what you have to say and let me process that how I want?
There you go. Well, listen, Mark, it's been a pleasure yapping with you again. This has been a crazy fiasco. I don't know what was better, your first or second appearance. I think you topped yourself. This one here, you went all in.
What? The super chats were a lot more aggressive, that's for sure.
I got a couple more here, but I don't think it's anything special. Let me just see.
Super
Thank you, Alien Watch over there. Thank you. I got 2 more coming in. Let's see. They were aggressive. They were definitely aggressive. Let's see what else we got.
That's their prerogative. I welcome all that. Some of them are funny.
Wonderful.
Yeah, welcome to the MMA Holes. Here's Ninja Choke.
Bro, you are a big, giant man. Do you get what I'm saying here, Mr. Lion?
Okay.
Not really.
He says you're a big man. I don't know what that means, but...
You talking about my dick or what?
Might be.
You know what's funny? I'll just say this. I've been getting all these like messages from feminists, you know, because like people like reposting this and like every feminist, their go-to line, it's funny because it's like, they're like, you're such an abuser, you narcissistic small dick piece of shit. And I'm like, yeah, you should ask Luana about that. I bet she won't lie about that.
Whoa.
So it's funny. It's like the go-to insult of every fucking feminist is like, you have a small dick. It's like, oh yes, body positivity. But I saw you once in a video clip and I can tell you have a small penis and I'm just writing you to tell you that you're a horrible human being with a tiny dick. You know.
The last time we had you on, we left off with a message to Brendan. You challenged him to go on a show and talk to him. That failed. He didn't want any part of that. In this one, I would like to know, what would you say to the Reddit people out there? I mean, it's been a bumpy road and now all of a sudden you're not the good guy anymore. Do you have anything to say to Reddit?
That's totally fine. You know, like, again, I understand if from your perspective of that video clip alone in isolation or whatever you've seen online is enough for you to label me as a domestic abuser. I disagree with that interpretation and plan on releasing a lot of evidence that would paint a narrative that contradicts that perception. Some people will be open to that. Some won't. This will be coming soon, and all I can ask of anybody is that they keep an open mind and are receptive to new evidence and the notion that situations aren't always so black and white and often are very complex, especially when it comes to psychological issues and toxic relationships.
There you go. All right. Well, Mark, listen. Hey, it was a pleasure having you back on here. I had a good time. I hope you didn't get beat up too bad.
No. I thought it was also a very good time. And, you know, I was less hyped up than I was the first time coming on top. So I think
no,
not too much, but I was more relaxed when doing it.
Now off to Addies and Baddies, right?
Addies and baddies, baby, all day.
All right, Mark. Hey, thanks for coming back on. And listen, you're always welcome back here. Have a great trip, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yeah, talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, there he is. Big gay lion, Mark Harley, live on the MMA Holes. What do you say in the chat, baby? What do you say? What do you say? Wow. We have God of War that we're going to be giving away. You still have a chance to get this puppy. God of War Ragnarok. Go over to the UFC 286 stream and just make sure you subscribe to the channel. You already subscribed, we know that. But in the comment section over there, just let me know your favorite fighter. We're going to pick tonight and give this puppy away. It's for PS5. Mark Harley. This interview was fucking wild. Wild. Dude. Wild interview. And I got to be honest, like I said before, like I've had a cordial conversation with him before. You know, my dealings with him are fine. Like I have no problems with Mark as a person, right? But this was nuts. This was out of control. So we went down the road of the videos. He was cool enough. He handled the videos. We showed the bouncing of the car, all that stuff. We talked about the baddies, and he just opened up about Brendan Schaub and his extracurricular activities outside of marriage. We got his reaction to Brendan Schaub giving his mother-in-law a house. I mean, there was a lot packed into that interview over there. If you have free time, feel free to timestamp it. The first person that timestamps the whole damn video, I'll pin it up top. I appreciate it if you do that. And if you're going to clip this, just give a little shout out to the MMA Holes. Why not? You know, if you're going to mooch, you're going to leech, just give a shout out to the MMA Holes. That's all I ask. That's all I ask, guys. Okay. Let me know in the live chat what you think about this. I listen. It's a little switch from what we usually do, but the channel started with drama 6.5 years ago, MMA and drama and all that crazy stuff. This just tickles me. Every once in a blue moon, I drag someone on here. We talk about some stuff. So I had fun talking about this, but let me know in the chat what you thought about it. And as you do that,
super chat.
Just catch up on some of these donations here.
I've got your back, Mark. Send her to the gulag.
Send her to the gulag. Thank you, on God. I'll make sure he knows that. How about the chat, Team Mark?
Super chat.
Wu-Tang, and thank you, Coffee Bones.
Why is host babying this weirdo? This guy jumped in my DM like a psycho and sent me, a stranger, all of his videos. Now, because I commented on Reddit.
Did he do that? Well, listen, I don't know what happened there. Take it up with him. I mean, my man's pretty receptive in the DMs. I don't think I babied him. I flat out called him a narcissist to his fucking face. Like, I don't think anyone has done that yet. So I don't think I babied him. I literally hit him over the head with everything I could possibly give him. But like I said, I don't have any problems with the guy. Me and him don't have any problems. I understand people don't like certain videos here and there. I don't know what's going on in that stuff. There's two sides. If we get Luano on, we could hear Luana's side of the story. I don't know if you guys want that, but if you did, if I got enough messages and you wanted that, let's fucking do it. I don't care. Because I do think that she has a right to defend herself. Totally babied. Well, let's see you do it. Andy James, please do yourself a favor and make sure you interview him and do a better job, okay? Thank you. Ninja Choke.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It means you can't justify getting physical with a woman as a man, especially a giant roided man. How do you not see this? She pulled my hair. Lol, leave bro, don't throw her so hard she slides across the floor.
So, yeah, listen, let me just say this. I don't back domestic violence. You never should put your hands on a woman. Their relationship was out of control. The videos I've seen of him kicking the, we put it on the stream. We showed him, he wasn't happy about it, him kicking the mirror off and all that stuff. I haven't seen him physically doing anything. He shouldn't have done that to the car. Shouldn't have been shaking the car and kicking the car. It's wrong. And she's completely wrong, hitting him over the head with a fucking frying pan. They are toxic. They are not together anymore. It is what it is, man. Like, they both were fucking lunatics in that relationship. They both should have been separated way long ago. Both of them are very wrong. Very, very wrong. So, like, from what I've seen, I think it's 50-50. I hear Mark's side of the story, so of course, we're going to lean. If you hear only one side of the story, you're going to lean a little bit. But, listen, they're both wrong. And I did not see any videos of him hitting her. I didn't see anything. I don't know. If you could, I'll tell you what, if you can show me a video of him beating her up, yes, send it to me. I will definitely address it. If you produce that video, yes. If that is out there, let me know. If there is, I don't stand for that. You don't hit a woman. You don't do that. Especially if you're his size. Come on, boobies, baby! Yeah! Ha, 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 hey!
I can see your underwear. Put your boobies in the air. Fapping like I just don't care. Can I lick your pubic hair? Snap a picture, time to share. Took my meat vision impaired. Filthy mind, I need a prayer. Pervert cameraman, beware. Pervert cameraman, show them tits. Pervert cameraman, $10 tip. Pervert cameraman, Yanni Celeste. Pervert cameraman, show them breasts. Boobies.
Little breasticles here.
How did it make you feel to DM the baddies for B?
We did actually talk about that. He actually went into that. So, listen, like I said, if someone could fucking timestamp that, man, I would jump through the screen and give you a Jeff Molina, you know what I'm saying. Just timestamp it. I'll fucking pin that shit up top. I do appreciate if someone could do that. But, yeah, he actually addressed that. He sung. He sung like a birdie. He let it out, man. There were some dirty secrets about Brendan Schaub that were released. His side, of course. We don't have Brendan's side. It's his side. But, I mean, it pretty much adds up. We got text messages. We got the whole deal. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious. There are certain things in the story that have holes. Yes. I'm not going to debate them because we don't have the other side, but there are things in the story that do have holes in them. For sure.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I'm just trying to get, find out what's going on.
If cooking with JBM uses iron skillets, you may want to consider a healthier alternative such as aluminum after hearing about Mark's experience.
All right, I'll let her know. Hey, hit the like button if you haven't done so. This is what we're going to do, friends, okay? I am going to hit a commercial break. When we come back, I am going to be giving away God of War Ragnarok. You guys know how to do that already, so go over to the UFC 286 stream. Do what you got to do. I'm going to pick a random winner. Someone's going to get this game tonight, and we'll talk a little of the fight night that's happened this weekend. We're going to go into detail on the Friday stream. But, yeah, we're going to wrap this up in a nice little bow. So, God of War giveaway incoming. Go to the UFC 286 reaction stream, like it, share that video, and comment your favorite UFC fighter. And I'm going to pick a winner in a second. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll digest everything. And, we'll talk a little bit of UFC as well. What do you say, okay? Stand by, friends. I love you. And thank you very much for the donations. Very kind.
Cheers. Underworld of Legends.
All right, baby. All I want is a like. Thank you to our sponsors. If you're just jumping in, Hella Mark Harley was live on the show, and my goodness, I tell you what, part 2 was crazier than part 1. So if you missed the first interview, you get the introduction into Hella Mark Harley and how he split up with Brendan Schaub. The wife came on the show then and was kind of defending. And in part 2, we have Hella Mark Harley splitting with his wife, talking about his girlfriend from November. Brendan Schaub and the baddies. I mean, what? What? I mean, I'm gonna have to listen to this back. I'm gonna have to do an edible.
Super
kick my feet up and listen to that back. That was
you should
what?
Go on Revenge of the Cis Mark.
Go on Revenge of the Cis. What is Revenge of the Cis? Thank you, Crip DJ. Appreciate that. Yeah, Mark, go on there. I don't know who that is. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this Vera versus. Actually, do you want to do the giveaway now? What should we say? One's in the chat. Should we do the God of War giveaway right now? Nah, you got to wait. Here we go. This is the card that's happening on Saturday. Cheeto. Marlon Vera versus Corey Sandhagen. I know there's a lot of Bopaverse stuff going on right now, but this is the fight that's happening and a lot on the line at bantamweight. Cheeto looking to put a stamp on that bantamweight division. He wants, that rematch with Sean O'Malley. He wants a belt. He wants a lot of stuff over here. And then you got Corey Sandhagen. That's 15-4-0. He's a very long, lanky guy. He came off a win, needed that win very bad. And he's a guy that's looking to get something done here. I love the fact that Cheeto is plus money. Love it, baby. I see this fight going where Corey Sandhagen is just lighting up Marlon as usual. And then Marlon just fucking smokes him. Cheeto getting plus money? Listen, Corey's a beast. He lost to Peter Yan. He lost to TJ Dillashaw. Does that look as good anymore? He defeated Yadong Song. Needed that win pretty bad. I tell you what, this is a fun fight. And with Cheeto getting plus money, 4 fights in a row, Dominic Cruz, Rob Font, Frankie Edgar, Davey Grant. What are we doing here? By the way, look at Davey Grant. Looks pretty good. And last loss was Jose Aldo 2 years and 2 months ago. So what a run for Cheeto. Both guys 30 years of age, approaching prime real estate and age. I mean, this is good. This is a really good fight. This is a good main event. I am looking forward to it. Bantamweight's finally interesting. And then, boom, right in the face, you get hit with this thing. The co-main event, Holly Holm versus Yana, formerly known as Kunitskaya. Now she's Yana Santos. What? Holly Holm at 40, right? 41 years of age, just signed a new contract with the UFC. Is this girl going to be fighting into her 60s? Now, she looks great. She's in fantastic shape. She's going to be doing that hop on the way to the cage. She's fun, right? Where is she? She's coming off the loss. Decision to Vieira. Decision win Aldana. Decision win over Rocky Melted Candle Pennington. And then a knockout loss to Amanda Nunes. Decision win over Megan Anderson. I mean, the only way you get a win out of her is a decision. Yana Santos Kunitskaya got knocked the fuck out by Aldana, then got the Ketlin Vera win, decision. Julia Stolienko, decision. Knocked out by Aspen Ladd. Wait, she's not in the UFC anymore. All right. You guys pumped up about that co-main event? Not me. But credit to Holly Holm. Listen, what she did with Ronda Rousey and where she is, she's still relevant at 41 years of age as a female. Much respect, but bump her down on the fucking card. Other than that, you got the Nazi and Andrea Lee on the card. You got a bunch of female fights on this thing. You got the guy from SNL over here. What's his name? What's that dude's name in SNL? The guy that was banging the Kardashian. Wasn't it? Pete Davidson's on the card. I didn't even know Pete Davidson was in the UFC. He's on the card over here. So that's happening. But I mean, listen, I looked at the matchups before. Not maybe household names, but good matchups, solid matchups, fun fights. So you're looking through this card. You got Trevin Giles over here fighting. Who's he fighting? Preston Parson. What the fuck? What the hell?
Who the fuck is that guy?
It's okay. We're going to be live for it. We're going to react to it. Let's look at the time of this card. I mean, at least we got a good solid main event. But I think it's starting a little early because I'm pretty sure there's boxing going on. So the prelims start at 1 p.m. our time over here. 2, 3, 4. What, 4 starts Eastern time? And then the main card starts 4 p.m. for us and 5, 6, 7 for the Eastern time, people. What do you guys say in the chat? Do you like this card? Do you not like this card? Do you give a fuck? Do we need Mark back on?
CBD, 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 CBD.
Do you need it?
CBD, 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 CBD.
We got a little Nate Diaz, baby.
It helps with healing process and inflammation and stuff like that.
Ninja choke.
Before, after the fight, training, and make your life a better place.
Thank you guys for the donations. Really, really appreciate it. Ninja Choke, what you got?
Love you, MOS. Thanks for all you and your wonderful, wonderful wife do. Hey, we were discussing the newest sheath commercial. Moreno flipping his little flapjack around. Does Flyweight have the P4P smallest packages?
Baby, possibly. I don't know. Could be. Thank you, Ninja Choke. Hey, listen. Everyone that donated tonight, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I know tonight's not a typical show that we do over here when we have like the drama, the craziness, the Boppaverse, the Fighter and the Kid subreddit, which apparently is very upset at me. If I made them upset by promoting socials, I apologize to the Fighter and Kid subreddit. Listen, I'm a newbie, baby. Like I was like, maybe you guys want to see Big Gay Lion just throw Schaub under the bus. Call me crazy. Maybe you wanted to hear about Big Gay Lion and his crazy wife situation. I mean, there's a lot of videos out now and the baddies. Maybe you guys want to hear that. So they all started flaming me over there on Reddit. All right, whatever, kids, whatever. I have no problems with you guys out there. And, you know, be easy on me. You know, be easy. Be easy. BGL free beige. And you know what's shocking the hell out of me? That 749 votes, 68% of the community is Team Mark. That actually shocked me because I caught a lot of heat on the Fighter and the Kid subreddit for why you having this guy on, snail, blah, whatever the fuck the weird Boppaverse things that everyone's saying. I don't know all the terms. Sorry. I'm trying to learn. You know, I'm learning on the fly here, guys. I think it's funny as well, but I'm just not as well versed. So don't fucking roast me. Or you could. That's fine. As long as you're talking about me. But 68% Team Mark. That shocked the hell out of me. That really did shock the hell out of me. I thought you guys were just going to fucking fry him. So if Mark is still watching, check that out. People are still Team Mark. Or Marg.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Tell him about woman privilege.
Mark's mom in the corner during the mutual combat with Luana. You can't let her bully you, son. You got to get your hands going.
Yeah, what the fuck? Dude, like, the thing I love about Mark, or Marg, is you ask him a question, and any bad interviewer would just interrupt him. Right? I've seen people interview the guy and, like, cut him off like an idiot. Like, it's like, dude, there's valuable information. There might be a lot of nonsense. You could pull a diamond out of this nonsense. You could. And the shit he said, with me letting him ramble, was like straight gold, baby. Like, I was like, what? So you got to let it go, man. You got to let it go. Two Joint says Mark's a piece of shit. I mean, listen, you're entitled to your opinion. I heard his side of the story. I saw the clips. There's some weird stuff here. Listen, do I like the airing videos of personal relationship stuff on the internet, especially when you have some sort of status? Like, Mark is not a super celebrity, right? But he's attached to Brendan, and Brendan's pretty popular right now. So if Mark puts something out there, the shit's going to explode. And if his wife puts something out there, or ex-wife, shit's going to explode. So I think both of them were completely wrong with that. But they both did it. So we cover it. And we get everyone's opinion. You know, it is what it is. It's wrong. It is wrong. You're right, Moss. It may be annoying, but you're doing your job as a host. Yeah, listen. If I was doing this every fucking week and I was shoving the Schaub shit up your... Like, there are channels out there that are doing it, like, every day. They're shoving the Schaub drama up your ass. That's for them, right? And they can have fun doing that. That's not our thing. Like, we do it... I did it last month. Mark was on a month ago. A fucking month ago. And why would I not have him on again? It's an interesting fucking... I'm interested in the story. And a lot of... Like I said this at the beginning of the stream. I've had Bruce Buffer. I've had John Jones. I've had fucking Mike Goldberg. I've had, like, all these UFC names, right? Come on the show. Mark has been the most requested guest to come back on, whether you like it or not. Let's make Mark a weekly guest. Dude, the views are through the roof. I could sell out and do it. I could do it. But I don't think I can. I honestly, I would have him on again, of course. Like I said, he did nothing wrong to me. I hope I didn't do anything wrong to him. I mean, maybe I did it. Maybe after this interview, he's like, I didn't like that you showed this. That's on him. But I think we're still cool. Okay, you guys want to know who won God of War? What are we waiting around for? You guys want to know who won this wonderful, wonderful game over here? One's in the chat if you want to get popping over here. We do a lot of giveaways on the show. That's another plus to be subscribed to the channel. So subscribe, and we're going to give this puppy away. God of War Ragnarok. Like I said, you still have a chance to get it in, okay? You must go to the UFC 286 reaction stream. You don't have much time. I'm about to pick a winner. But you can still try. By the way, Jeff Molina was on ARIEL today. Oh, my God. That's all I got to say. No, I have more to say. Dude, what's going on? ARIEL. Dude, you suck. You fucking suck. That was the worst fucking interview ever. Jeff Molina needs to come on this show. I will ask the questions. In fact, I'll put whatever I can up in front of him and be like, what is going... Tell me about the fucking sex tape. Tell me about this sex tape, buddy. Give me more information on this stuff. What? How did you meet this guy? And did he enjoy the blowjob? And who was recording this thing? Like, I would get to the bottom of it. ARIEL tossing softballs. You're a fucking hero, kid. Dude, what? Jeff Molina, come on this show. Don't come on this show. C-O-M-E on this show, okay? I don't want you to come on me. Anyway, if you want to win the God of War, this over here, 106K views, UFC 286, Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman. This reaction stream, I need you to like it. Hit that like button. Support the show. I need you to comment over there your favorite fighter, your favorite UFC fighter on this stream over here. Make sure you share the stream as well, okay? So share it. You got to be subscribed. You got to like, and I'm going to pick one person from the chat, or it's from the comment section, that put their favorite fighter. Now, if you didn't put your favorite fighter there, motherfucker, you're not getting this. You're not getting God of War Ragnarok on PS5. And by the way, shout out to fucking Sonosi. I don't know if he's in the chat. There was a couple of OGs. Like, listen, actually, Sonosi was all right, but I'm not going to say any names. But there were a couple of OGs who are like, I'm not watching tonight. This is not MMA. Guys, what are we going to, like, what the fuck? We're going to switch shit up, baby. We're going to have a little fun. I think tonight was fun. I had a good time. I don't know. But, yes, God of War Ragnarok, this over here. Okay, let's do this. Here we go. Here's the God of War Ragnarok stream. Beautiful fight commentary reaction. By the way, if you like the UFC, you must be subscribed to us. We give the best commentary in the fucking world. Now, I'm going to take this link of this stream, and I'm going to put them in a random YouTube little searchy poo over here. Here we go. Whoa! Okay, I'm going to drop it. I'm going to paste the link right in here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going down right now. On the MMA-Holes Live, we had Big Gay Lion on the show, and it was wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
But now it's time to give away God of War Ragnarok for the PS5. It's a code. It could be yours if you win. Shout out to Sonosi for making dreams come true, and we got a bunch more giveaways coming your way. Are you ready? Chat. Are you ready? Let me know in the chat if you're ready. I want to see it in the chat, baby. I want to see it. I want to see it in the chat.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Ninja Choke.
Did ARIEL ask if dude came in or on?
Did ARIEL ask if dude came in or on? I don't know. I didn't hear that. No, I was on the bike. I was listening to the Molina interview. I was like, let's get to it, baby. It was terrible. 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 Thank you for the donation. Are you ready, chat? Let me know in the chat if you're ready for God of War Ragnarok. There is one person that's going to win this. We're going to find out live on the MMA Holes who is the lucky winner. Jason is ready, baby. Boopa says smelly. What the fuck kind of name is that? Looks like Little Seal is ready. And that is wonderful, wonderful. We definitely need Melina on the stream. We do. Even if you don't have PS5, if you win, just sell the fucking thing. I don't know what you want to say. Or give it away to a friend. You ready? Here we go. But do a giveaway on your channel. I'm about to click a button over here. God of War Ragnarok is going to one lucky viewer of the MMA-Holes live stream. Good luck. I wish everyone could win. I wish I could give it to everyone like Oprah. But I can't. Only one can get it. Like the stream. Subscribe to the channel. Let's fetch. How do I do this? Continue? Okay, here we go. When I click this button over here, pick a winner, it must say your favorite fighter. It must say your favorite fighter. If it doesn't, I move on. So if it's just nonsense, trolling, whatever, you're not getting the prize. You ready? I'm sweaty. I'm sweating. Here we go. I'm about to click it. Should I click it? Should I click it? What do you say? Let's go on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job, you two. My favorite fighter is Khabib Nurmagomedov. I also like Valentina Shevchenko. Silent Gamer, baby! Wow, it actually went to a gamer. That's great. I hope you don't have the game, but Silent Gamer, who actually is a member of the chat. I was hoping that didn't go to like some random. So at least someone that I've seen before in the chat. Silent Gamer says, great job, you two. My favorite fighter is Khabib Nurmagomedov. So what I'm going to do is this. Let's find Silent Gamer over here. I don't know, Jesse, are you still watching down below? Let's see, Silent Gamer, where you at? Where you at? Sneaky Smurf. A lot of Sneaky Smurf. Okay, a lot of you got involved. Okay. Silent Gamer, are you in the chat? I don't even know if he's in the chat now, but it looks like... Here we go. Great job, you two. Okay. My comment kept vanishing. You know, he's not the only one that fucking said this. I don't know what's up with YouTube, but you won. So, good job. Good job. You won. Let's see. Send me your email and we will, we'll reach out. Okay, so there we go. Good job, you won. Send me your email and we will reach out. So I don't know if you're in the chat over here, and I'm sorry if you didn't win it. We're going to do more giveaways, so don't worry about it, guys, okay? I know, Ronan, it is rigged. It is rigged. But don't tell anybody, okay? Okay, guys and gals. Hey, thank you guys for stopping by tonight. If you missed Hella Mark Harley, if you missed Hella Mark on the show, run it back. I would love to know in the comment section what you thought of the interview. I'm telling you, there's a ton of hidden gems in these stories, so definitely check it out if you're into the Schaub Boppaverse drama, all that stuff. I promise you, better than the first one. I mean, the first was fun. I enjoyed listening back to the first, and I don't listen much back to my shows, but I did listen back to that. I'll listen back to this. So let me know in the comments what you thought about that. And if you missed the first interview where he kind of introduces himself and talks about the initial split with Schaub, check that video out. Let me know in the comment section about that as well. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time and your energy hitting that like button. It's very tricky to hit that like button, but I truly appreciate it. Everyone that hit that like button is wonderful, wonderful. So thank you again. And if someone timestamps, the first person that timestamps the Mark Harley interview, the first person that can go through there and timestamp that puppy, I will pin you up top. There's going to be a lot of people seeing it. So if you want some sort of, I don't know, pat on the back, I'll pin your comment up top. So thank you in advance for doing that. And that's it. Guys, don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA-hole. I'll see you Friday.